All right, let's take thank you for staying with us. It's time to review top stories on the front pages of Nigerian newspapers, and I begin with the Nigerian News Direct. The major story here says Naira scarcity, federal government begs Nigerians as CBN directs banks to pay customers new notes. Naira redesign will curb corruption, grow Nigeria's economy. The federal government speaking, it is a price to pay for nation's economy to recover. Finance Minister reacting to developments there. And to the front page of the Daily Trust, Naira crisis, APC governors reject February the 10th deadline. Tell Emefiele people are paying to get their money. Protest in Lagos. Only masses are suffering. Politicians having their way. Kwankwaso demand a 1-year extension to meet Buhari today. All right, all the details on the front page of the Daily Trust. We move now to the First News newspaper. El Rufai dares Aso Rock cabal, says, we'll soon unmask you. We are not afraid of anybody. 22 governors behind Tinubu says we've defeated Villa Cabal twice over APC National Working Committee membership presidential primary. Buhari was shocked when Lawan was announced APC consensus candidate. El Rufai also speaking. All right, all the details on the front page of the First News newspaper. Mike?
All right, I have this Nigeria here. He says, you should have kept your mouth shut. Rufai tackles Lai Mohammed over defense of Aso Rock Mafia against Tinubu's candidature. That's what you see on the front page of this Nigeria. Now, moving on to Leadership newspaper, 2023 presidency, 22 days to go. PDP accuses Wike of working for Tinubu. We didn't stop your rally, Rivers governor replies. State party executives back Wike against Atiku. And 22 APC governors behind Asiwaju El-Rufai is saying this. And from there, let's go to Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint says Okowa replies Clark on alleged betrayal. As senior citizen, your actions should unite, not divide Nigeria. Says our leader has a right to support candidate of his choice. Step down. You betrayed your colleagues as Atiku's running mate. Edwin Clark is saying quoted as saying this. That's the Blueprint newspaper. Business Day is next, and it says Nigerians seek foreign degrees as local faculty quality flounders. Nigerians seek foreign degrees as local faculty quality flounders. That's the Business Day newspaper. The last one we're looking at now is Nature News. Nature News is the last one. It says SBAs will save the environment. Nige Sat is saying this, okay? That's what you see on the front page of the Nature News. Veronica.
All right, Mike, let's look at this matter of the Naira scarcity that has been, is a matter right now. Let me not say has been. It's a matter, a big one. Because if you look at the videos that have been on social media, fisticuffs.
Yeah.
People
in the banking hall
saying that they are going to sleep here until you give me my money. I mean, it's my money. Why is it becoming so difficult for you to give me my money? And then Nigerians paying to get their money is another thing, because I got reports that there are some persons, when they go to certain banks, they'll say, okay, you have to pay this money to get, if you want us to give you money. And if you don't want to, please step aside. Some other persons need money. I mean, this matter, which is on the pages of the front pages of the Nigerian News Direct, as well as the Daily Trust this morning, talking about the crisis of the Naira, is getting worse than we imagined, Mike.
The point there is, these are very trying times. And you heard the Minister of Finance say that well, it's just a temporary arrangement or temporary situation. It is for the good. That's what he's saying. But if that is resting well with Nigerians, it's totally a different thing.
It's not. There's no need to wait.
We have seen, like you said, we've seen videos.
Yeah.
There is a woman who had to even strip almost naked in the bank,
too,
as in way of protesting what is going on. There's a man who had to pull his shirt. In fact, he climbed the counter and sat. I'm going to sleep here today. I'll just sleep here. I'm not going until they give me money. And they had to beg, were begging him. Then we saw the fisticuff you're talking about, scattering the bank all over the place. That is the situation right now. The point there is, everyone feels that the central bank is qualified, skilled, professional enough to have arranged a seamless situation if they want to. If they want to.
They have said they did.
They could have. But maybe they did not envisage the other side who could act as saboteurs. Because the central bank is saying there's enough cash, banks do the needful, and so on. So it tells you if there is circumvention within the banking system or commercial banks, as the case may be, then it means that there is a disconnect somewhere between the central bank and the commercial banks.
Right, because yesterday there was a headline saying the central bank has said all commercial banks can begin to issue the redesigned notes across the counter. And I was asking, is it that they gave a directive in the first place that they shouldn't, issue the redesigned notes across the counter? Then why are you coming out to say that you have issued enough notes? And then we are seeing what we are seeing play out. Until then, we've seen protests, even in Lagos. Yeah. People protesting against the scarcity of the Naira. And then you had to come up with that headline. It means that you gave a directive. Were you hiding behind that directive? Because you, the CBN governor, had appeared before the House of Reps to say that they have done enough. They have put measures in place to ensure that there is no scarcity of the Naira and that the deadline is next week, the 10th of February. But then there's a grace period of the 17th where people can return the old notes to the CBN and much later. Yeah. So there's a back and forth that I am not understanding.
A lot of us, when we heard that, when we saw that headline, you, as a communication specialist or as a communication expert, you begin to look. There's something wrong here. Yeah. Either the quotation was wrong, maybe they were quoted out of context. Or if it came like that, then there's something wrong with it. Because when you're sending, in fact, why do people quarrel? Sometimes it's not even the act. More than the act itself, sometimes it's your approach that make people quarrel. Why do countries go to war? It is a disposition. Sometimes it's not even what you have done against my citizen or what I have done against your economy. Sometimes it is the reply, that thing is, that communication is very key. You communicate wrongly, people will, of course, react wrongly. So I think that is part of what I see here. Now, what Nigerians expected in the first instance was central bank outlining the sequence of how this thing should happen, who should be responsible for. Like you go to a hospital and the doctor is going to conduct a procedure on you, and he tells you, this is what I'm going to do to you, this is how I'm going to do this, and then when I do this, you're going to feel this, or when so your mind is prepared that this is what I'm going to experience. Okay, it might pain me a little bit here, it might pinch me here, but okay, it'll be fine, as the case may be. So the point there is, that is what Nigerians expected when it comes to this issue of Naira and the issue of cash. If the CBN, which is, that I said earlier, is skilled, is professional, it has all the expertise in financial, whatever the thing is, did not envisage this, then it's not good enough. Because we should have, this CBN has been around as much as Nigeria was around.
In fact, even the reasons the CBN gave initially to address, yes, you want to mop up the cash, yes, you have mopped up about 75% of that, it's fine. But then the matter of insecurity. There was a video that went viral yesterday that some bandits were seen to have these redesigned notes.
In fact, some of them even, there was one who even spoke not in English, but it was interpreted, who was boasting that they had acquired arms using the new Naira notes.
You can imagine.
So the point there is, when you have a situation like that, of course, everybody would know that.
And then on the papers this morning, a governor is saying that it is the politicians have gotten this money. Yeah. It is, the ordinary Nigerians that are suffering this matter. So at the end of the day, aren't you defeating the purpose for which you began this whole process in the first place? If you recall, a lot of, or part of the reason the CBN was doing this was because of the monies that were stashed here and there, so much money out there. And if the same politicians or part of the people who have stashed a lot of money have access to it maybe in the same quantum, then what is the essence? It is defeated. So
So at the end of the day, the persons to which you want to whom you want to prevent this, they are having their way. To the average Nigerian who is not culpable in anything, who is just going about his normal duty, paying his taxes,
to run
and all
his
of,
or her
they're the ones who are victims of this.
Who are victims of this.
You know, so in the banking hall that we were talking about, the fighting and all of that and the frustration and the desperation, how many politicians do you see standing in the bank and fighting and shouting and, you know, and all of that? It is the average person who is just going about his normal, the Iyaloja and the other persons who are just, let me just sell my ware and use my money to train my child in school.
They are the ones facing
So
the brunt.
So the point there is that CBN, of course, they are doing everything they would have done. But the point there is they should have envisaged. This is Nigeria. This is not United States. This is Nigeria. We should have envisaged all of these things. The Nigerian factor happens in every situation. We are seeing it in the oil. We had the Ipman official here yesterday. We talked about oil difficulty
and smuggling.
And all of those challenges yesterday.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with currency. So the point there is in everything we are doing, we should always factor in the Nigerian factor. In all of these things, envisage it, preempt it, and overcome it before you even set out. Otherwise, we'll be having this same kind of issues.
Because next week, February the 10th, which is going to be the deadline,
yes,
there's going to be crisis.
Nothing has changed between the last
deadline
and now. Nothing. In fact, things have become worse. Nothing has changed if you compare.
Because there's still apprehension.
No, of course, there's
a lot of people are desperation. There's frustration. A lot of people still haven't held these new Naira notes. And now you are saying it's just next week here. What has changed within your operations?
We know
that would have turned things around for people to easily access their own monies.
Yeah. We know that one of the qualities of money is relative scarcity. Money should be scarce,
but not this level.
But this one that is not available at all is a challenge. It is. I think something has to be done. Well, the CBN has come out to say we have printed enough and distributed to banks. Maybe they have to tell us or tell Nigerians how many of those I don't know whether it is a security, it's under security to let everybody know how much banknotes they printed and where they are. I don't know if it's a security. I don't know if it's a security situation. Okay. Right? If it is, then fine. Maybe they may not tell everybody what they have.
But they said they have printed enough.
They said they printed
That's enough now. It's not seeming enough.
It's not enough for Nigerians.
as it is. I can only hope that between now and next week, something drastic happens that changes the situation on the ground, where Nigerians, this frustration that Nigerians are feeling at this time does not degenerate. Because we have seen protests in Lagos and some other places within the banking hall we have seen, and if nothing is done between now and that time, it might be something else at the end of the day.
We just hope it doesn't get that bad. And we know that the central bank governor and all the officials and government officials that are involved are having sleepless nights to ensure this is resolved, but they have to work harder.